Let me explain CVRE in a way that finally makes sense. Think of the entire system like an airport, and think of the real estate deals like airplanes. Most people spend all their time trying to pick the perfect plane, but the people who quietly build their long-term wealth usually own the airport. CVRE is like building the airport. The real estate tokenization platform is what brings the planes in. And some people are choosing to participate on both sides because that's where the alignment and the net worth growth can compound. Full disclosure, this is not financial advice. Crypto and real estate both carry risk. My goal here is education, not hype. Here's the reality. If you want to access high-quality real estate deals, multi-million-dollar apartments, developments, income-producing assets, you usually run into some walls. Big minimum investments, long lockups, accredited investor requirements, and layers of middlemen taking fees. Most everyday people never even get through security, so to speak. At the same time, developers face a different problem. Raising capital is slow, expensive, and inefficient. This is the gap that CVRE was built to solve. CVRE is like the airport infrastructure. It doesn't represent ownership in a specific building, and it doesn't promise returns. And it's not a real estate deal. CVRE represents participation in the ecosystem, the digital infrastructure that enables real estate deals to move faster, cheaper, and more efficiently. Airports don't own the airplanes. They profit from the activity. More flights, more passengers, more movement. That's what CVRE is positioned around. Now, let's talk about the airplanes. Each airplane is a real estate deal, an apartment building, a development, an income-producing project. And through tokenization, these projects can be funded using USDC, a dollar-pegged stablecoin, instead of traditional banking rails. What this does is it allows smaller entry points, fewer intermediaries, faster capital formation, and potentially higher APY because fewer people are taking cuts. And here's the major shift. Non-accredited investors can potentially participate alongside accredited investors on the same deals. Same plane, same destination, different seat sizes, but same flight. And unlike traditional platforms, tokenized real estate structures can allow participants to benefit from rents, refinances, and property sales. That's the airplane side. Now pay attention because this part matters. You do not need to own CVRE to participate in real estate deals. And owning CVRE does not give you ownership in a specific property. They are separate by design, but they're both connected because the airplanes power the airport. You see, every time a plane lands or takes off, the airport benefits. Every time a project raises capital, generates rent, refinances, or sells, the real-world economic activity creates fees and liquidity within the ecosystem. And those revenues can be used to support liquidity, buy CVRE, burn supply, and strengthen the platform treasury. In other words, real estate success can support the airport, and a stronger airport typically attracts more airplanes. That's the flywheel. And this is exactly why some people participate on both sides. They invest in the airplanes for structure and stability, project-specific exposure, defined timelines, real assets. And they hold the airport because they believe activity will grow, more developers, more deals, more volume, more infrastructure value. One side is about picking flights, the other is about owning the runway. Different risk profiles, same ecosystem. Most people, they don't build net worth by chasing isolated opportunities. They build it by positioning themselves around growth, owning infrastructure, and aligning with systems that scale. CVRE isn't asking you to bet on one building. It's asking a bigger question. What happens if tokenized real estate becomes normal and the airport becomes busier every year? No guarantees, no promises, but systems like this are how wealth can quietly compound over time. So here's the deal, clearly stated. How would you like to access institutional-style real estate deals with smaller entry points while potentially participating alongside of accredited investors without needing that label, choose airplanes for real asset exposure, and consider owning the airport for long-term ecosystem upside? If that concept resonates, the next step isn't to rush. Just visit the website, read the documentation, ask intelligent questions, and talk to your advisor. No hype, no pressure, just a smarter way to think about how crypto infrastructure and real estate can work together for people who are focused on growing real net worth over time.